They wanted a bigger kitchen, so they put a 10-foot by 10-foot addition on.
It was just shabby work.
Very.
They always said that they would come back, but to this day, they have never been back to make good on their word.
Oh, I don't think this is proper foam board. Look at this. $3,500 for the tumbled marble backsplash. That's ridiculous. I don't care if it is marble. It's too much money. As you can see, as we're pulling it down, we're finding problem after problem. What we're looking for is to see if they actually had the vapor barrier on the warm side, which they do not. Big dollars to fix something that should have been done right in the first place. I just want to just tear this down and do it again. Mike Holmes, did they actually do this right?
No.
No, they didn't. Buggers. You want a good job to keep you in shape? I'll be a contractor. Unacceptable. God, I love my job.
We love the neighborhood. Wouldn't change this neighborhood for anything. It's like the greatest neighborhood to live in. It's a community. I like the character. I mean, this house, when we walked into it, had character, and that's what caught our eye, and we knew right then and there that this is the place for us. So.
Yeah, right away.
They wanted a bigger kitchen, so they put a 10-foot by 10-foot addition on and enlarged the kitchen.
Well, we asked a few people that had had work done, and we contacted some people that had been advertising various flyers and whatnot, and we called around the neighborhood and saw some jobs and phoned some signs, and so we had about 4 quotes.
The quote was to begin with $26,000 and climbed all the way to $39,000 by the time they were finished.
The payment plan was originally every 2 weeks, and I objected to that. So we talked about what we wanted, and we decided that we would pay them on milestones. And they agreed to that. They were a little bit iffy with it, but they agreed to that. So there were certain things they had to do, like finish the structure and get certain jobs completed before we'd give them any more money.
Well, first appearance, it does look rather nice.
It does.
It really does, but there's we definitely have some flaws here, don't we? So this is where the addition started. This is where they open it up?
This is where they open it up. This was our original wall here.
Okay.
It was taken down.
You have the client specifying in detail, we would like the switches here, we would like certain things this way. And of course you have the contractor going, not a problem, not a problem. But I'm told each and every day they came home, it was done differently than they had talked about.
It was just shabby work.
Very.
They always said that they would come back and do patchwork after, but to this day they have never been back to reapply or make good on their word.
Right off the bat we see a few things. We see the flooring level here, there's a hump in the floor here, right? It sinks a little bit in the center, and that's just over the years the house will sink always in the center.
Right.
So you're going to have a small hump, but you shouldn't have a large hump.
Okay.
This was underpriced in the beginning. As soon as I was told the price of $26,000 for the addition plus the kitchen, I knew right off the bat that it was definitely too cheap. So they had to cut corners.
You open up these cupboards and you try opening up the refrigerator at the same time, one bangs into the other.
There should have been filler strips on each side of the fridge, the stove, and it just gives you more room for that. It brings the drawers and doors over and they'll never ever hit. No outside contractors came in, they've done the electrical, they've done the plumbing, they've done everything.
You know, we were hands-on, actively involved, and we made ourselves available, and we didn't just disappear. We were here. We lived in the home while it was going on.
Let's take a look outside. We'll talk about these doors.
Water tends to pool in the, I guess, what would
In
you
the
call
track.
this? Track here.
The drainage on these frames is not that good, so if we have a heavy rain from the south, it'll just beat against the door, drip down, fill the track up, and work its way in. Normally, we'll just drill in a couple of holes in the bottom track to help the drainage. I don't like the 1x4 around the doorway.
Last minute thing
Of course,
they
it's
did on
cracked
their
and
own.
everything. You can see all of the nails.
Well, they just use cheap pine.
They did.
You can't do that. This is just going to fall apart. Look at how they've done it here, right?
That's probably where, when they were doing the
I'll put
upper
my money
part,
on
they
it.
had their boots probably up against there because they look like dents
Yeah,
from boots.
toe dents.
You know, when people ask us what we could have done differently, I simply don't know. I really don't know. I mean, we got an architect. We paid an architect. We got a building inspection. We had our plans
There was
approved
an
by the City of
engineer.
Toronto. There was an engineer. You know, we
We
did
did
our
as
homework.
much
We
homework as
called
we
some of their
could.
references.
Oh, this is nice.
Oh yeah,
That's really good. Yeah. That's safety. You know, let's be serious.
That's
when it comes
what
to railings, they're supposed to hold your weight, not give to your weight.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, they shouldn't use 1x6s. They use 1x6. This is actually fence board, and you're using that as a back skirt. I wouldn't have done that. So they built this whole fence?
They did.
Well, why didn't this continue straight down? Why didn't they bring it out and just continue it as bringing the 4x4 right up? It would have looked better. You know, I love full privacy lattice. I really do, but it has to be done right. There should be a center brace across the middle, and that way it keeps it from going, just like this piece did here.
We didn't go with the cheapest job. We didn't go with the most expensive job, and you don't know, the most expensive job might not have been good either. You just don't know. You have to trust. You have to trust, and unfortunately, we trusted the wrong person.
Right. We were concerned about an access door, getting under there, if we're going to be able to store anything. We can't do that.
We definitely want to keep the creatures out from underneath here, and this is not going to work. Look at this.
They didn't even nail the skirt in. I mean, you can pull it away.
Why didn't the wall continue right to the ground?
That's how it should have been.
Foundations.
That's how it should have been.
And it should have met concrete as opposed to meeting soil.
Yes.
The trim around the windows was something that the bylaw inspector had insisted on, and it was a last-minute thing, and they didn't even discuss it with us, so they came and did what they wanted to do.
They slapped it on when we weren't here. We came home, there we have it.
They're not consistent on their finish. You see a lot of blotchy spots.
Absolutely.
Dense,
Almost
all
as
over
if
the
there's
place.
repairs. Yeah, it's almost as if they've done repairs. Oh, I don't think this is proper foam board.
We were told by the contractor the job had passed. The building inspector ended up calling us just by a fluke and told us that he hadn't passed the job, and it still isn't passed in September.
Bad contracting and lies to boot. Because they did not use A, the proper foam board, B, no starter strips. What's going to happen is moisture will build up at this point very, very quickly. By next year, all this will be peeling off at the bottom. It'll work its way up.
Right.
You will see it all the way around. This is a beautiful product. It'll give you insulation on the outside of your wall.
Right.
It gives a perfect breathable surface, and it's very attractive. But if it's not done correctly, it won't work.
Sure.
This is coming down, deck's coming down, stairs, railings, all new railings.
no.
This is coming down. We're gonna take the trim off. We're gonna take all this stucco off right on top of the styrofoam. All of it's coming off. We are going to show you what it should look like.
Great.
Okay?
Super.
Great. We really appreciate
Thank
it.
Bring you
Mike.
back in.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure. Somebody wants some stairs? They wanted a bigger kitchen, so they put a 10-foot by 10-foot addition on it.
It was just shabby work.
It's definitely too cheap, so they had to cut corners.
To this day, they have never been back to make good on their word.
You know what? Let's just start with actually cleaning this up and making it safe. Let's take this fence down, get it out. We'll clean up the grounds, and we'll prep to start removing everything here. Look at this. That is really wonderful.
Monster.
Take something apart without tools, you know it wasn't built very well. Look, they got one bolt in holding this in, and even in the plans it shows 2 bolts going in. You fall hard enough against that, and it's coming down. Sloppiness, see what I mean? That sucks. I want that on my house. Are we sure this is the wrong material? Yeah, that's just standard styrofoam.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Foam, right?
Yeah, that is no good. Can you actually use this?
Well, you can, but it's not recommended because what it does is it gives you a very soft surface. So as soon as somebody runs into it or a kid with a hockey stick or something hits it, it dents.
Right. But there's nothing in code that says you can't use this.
Well, no, it's because this is not covered under code. Okay,
Right.
it's manufacturer's recommended application procedure. See, this is not attached at all.
Right. And they just done the front, not,
Well, they
not even the
didn't-
bottom.
They didn't even do the bottom.
Yeah, they didn't
right?
even
It's very
look at that.
crucial that the bottom is closed in because that's what happens there. You can see.
Right, it chips away.
It just starts deteriorating. One of the reasons that there's probably this much purge
Just because of the styrofoam.
is because of the type of styrofoam they use, and when you screw this stuff in, it just collapses.
Right.
So you end up with a lot of undulation in the walls, so you
Right.
need to use more materials
Right.
to try and flatten it out.
Bar. Set up the big ladder.
Okay, there's no insulation under here. This should be right up so that it's tight. And it should be wrapped in some manner.
So that's just going to fall apart in the future. That's
Well,
the
yeah,
idea, right?
because
The water's going to get in there.
Yeah, you're going to get a big moisture buildup in this hollow space. It'll freeze, it'll melt, it'll freeze, it'll melt, and then this stuff will just start, disintegrating.
Well, we got to get rid of this styrofoam that they've used. It's no good. We got to replace these lousy casings with proper cannibal trim. It's designed for stucco. The top decking board that they use is pretty well the lowest grade available. We're going to have to pull that up and put up some new stuff. It'll just warp and crack in no time. Unacceptable. We can keep the existing floor joists, but the rest has got to go. Anybody want some stairs? We're going to take this piece out. We're going to turn it the other way so it all runs in the same direction. We're going to put a tie-in piece in the center there. Because there's no middle brace on a large section of this, it's just pulled right out. So we're going to pull this out and fix this up today. I think we're going to replace the eavesdrop. I don't like it. This is standard fascia board, and really, this is not what we want. We want to bring in a bender. He'll bend it and form it so it curves out at the top just to meet the drip edge. And it'll be, aesthetically, it'll look a lot better. But this is coming down. I don't like it. We're going new. All of the skirting around here, we're going to pull off all the skirting. It's actually unlevel. So when we go and put on the styrofoam around this, you're going to see that once it's parked. So we don't want that. We're going to pull all this down and make it level. Right from the beginning, they should have had the sheets right up, cut it from the top down or bottom up. I don't care which way they go. But you want it right to the wall. You want it right to the top so we have a perfectly true edge to put it up. With all this, it's no wonder we're seeing nothing but waves and departing. This isn't nailed into anything, and you can see that gap in behind it. We don't want that gap. Especially because they did not finish the styrofoam properly. They did not finish the bottom. Water, moisture will get in, not only rot all this, but it'll get inside the house. Well, obviously they thought they did a great job. They actually charged, I think it was about $10,000 more than the original price for all the little extras they got them on. $3,500 for the tumbled marble backsplash. That's ridiculous. I don't care if it is marble. It's too much money. This job was actually too cheap to start with. I see for the total job about $40,000 for this one. I believe they got it for $26,000. This is a shame. This is a lot of money in wasted material that we're taking down and taking to the dump. This is the floor to the inside of the house, right here. This is the bottom of the floor joists. They used the vapor barrier at the bottom underneath the sheeting and plywood, and they wrapped it up on the outside of the wall. If anything, this is going to catch water and hold it. If water gets in behind this, and the way they've done it, you want to believe water would get in here. Do this right?
No.
No, they didn't.
Nothing there.
They didn't. Dumb buggers. When we pull the insulation down here, what we're looking for is to see if they actually had the vapor barrier on the warm side, which they do not. The problem being here is to do all this just because of the plastic. We got to pull all this down, pull out the insulation. Now, instead of having the plastic on top, we're actually going to wrap the plastic around the floor joist, back up again, so we have the plastic on the warm side. Then we'll put the insulation back and resheet the bottom. As you can see, as we're pulling it down, we're finding problem after problem. What we have to do to put this back together, to make it right, is not a simple project. Big dollars to fix something that should have been done right in the first place. This is guys that think they know what they're doing, and it shows. They start off with the flooring. Here's the frame, the first thing they're going to put up on top of the columns. They're unsquare. They realize it when they start the walls. Oh dear, we're unsquare. So they carry the walls out and they try to square it over top of the existing floor joists. This is already holding moisture. Rob's down there now, and he's saying there's water signs inside here. That's because it's holding the moisture in and not letting it escape. I just want to tear this down and do it again. All of this plaster would have fallen off. And it would have been so ugly all around the windows, all across the bottom. It just would have started to peel. This shouldn't be peeling at all. In the first year, this would peel. To try and tie in, to try and make this look professional again, is even harder.
Gonna be nice, Gerhard.
Day 2. We're doing pretty good. We got it all down yesterday, and we're ready. We're doing the vapor barrier underneath, getting ready to close that back in again. We've taken the vapor barrier and wrapped it right across and up and in, and what that does is keeps the vapor barrier on the warm side and no longer on the cold side. Now we'll go ahead and we'll insulate this again. We'll get that bottom board back up again, and we'll build our skirt. rather than keep it with the octagon shape that we have, we're going to skirt it straight across and have this recessed out.
I'm insulating this airspace that they neglected to close in. I'm using spray foam so we can shave it flush and then bring the board over top.
This is the skirt that we've now installed. We've changed the direction of it. It's no longer coming out with the octagon. We're going to go straight underneath. But the way we've done this is we've tied this in, we've screwed into the concrete columns, and we have not touched any other outside source, strictly because we don't want anything to shift. These columns here are 4 feet in the ground by code, which is going to, it's below the freezing point. So that's not going to shift. We don't want to tie into the sidewalk because every year that's going to go up and down with the frost and thaw. Are you right tight against your side? Bear Coat is a new product, and what it does is it allows the wall to breathe. It also seals everything. It acts in a way like vapor barrier, but breathable. We put on the outside of the structure before the foam.
Fasteners, proper fasteners. They're nice and wide. Sink them into the foam. Hold the foam nice and flat against the board. 8 fasteners per board, and you stagger the joints on the board. This is what we were using, or they were using earlier, which is totally inappropriate. You can see the difference. A little spiral nail. This is a deck screw. Much better, much better.
The stucco process here is really quite involved. After the Bear Coat, we put up the foam, then we put up the scratch coat, which is then covered with a mesh. This really just adds strength and keeps it all uniform.
What we're doing here is notching out the stringers so we can actually put, this is called a lead-in brace. Gives a little more support, stops the stringers from tipping angle to angle, and it's required by code as a support.
Done. Now you've done this before, haven't you?
Oh, too many times.
Rob has actually made 2 stringers. He has made the stringers for the stairs, which the tread, the top step, is the tread, will sit on top, giving us the weight load that we need. He skirted the outside of the stringer, which has not only strengthened our stringer, it gives it a nice appearance on this side. You want to see that not only does the pad support the stringers, but also that there's a bottom step. So this way we're guaranteed a 7-inch step all the way up. Yeah, that needs about 15 minutes, I figure. And after the scratch coat is cured for a day or so, we're going to add a primer coat and then finally the stucco.
Very, very sloppy material. You want to try and maintain the material's own thickness throughout the whole process. So you can't let it build up too long, and you're going to drag it out flat. So we'll wait for that to dry, and then we'll tape back to it and do the bottom half.
I hope it's in focus.
Oh, this is gonna be nice, Gerhard.
Oh, we're just on the finishing stages now, doing the fascia soffit and the new eavesdrops, and we're going to replace the downspout at the top there. I don't like it. You got the forming for the eavesdrop. This is the only way an eavesdrop should be done. Look at that. You can make it as long as you want.
Seamless, whatever you want. Now it takes a few years of practice to end up cutting this nice and straight. Never rusts, never dries. The store stuff is great if you want to use it for a little shed or something, just a tiny piece. But if you're going to do long linear feet, you end up with multiple seams. I mean, I've been doing this for going on 18 years and I don't have a leak yet.
Give him a ticket?
Guy, come over. Did more than that. They come over the way.
Excellent. They should be happy. There's a large difference. This is day and night. This is a different house in the back. This is the favorite part of my job. Not only am I happy with the end results, I get to see the look on their face.
Oh my God, you fixed the fence.
Wow.
Holy.
Absolutely no
Look at the
comparison.
steps.
This is the favorite part of my job. Not only am I happy with the end results, I get to see the look on their face.
That's beautiful.
We brought on quite a few professionals on this job.
The eaves now goes right around too.
Yeah,
I noticed.
that's special eavesdrop.
Wow.
That's formed. You're going to hire a contractor. I think you really want to make sure that he brings in the right people. You see what we did?
What do you think, sweetie?
See that? This used to go all the way down to the ground. And we changed that. You know, licensed carpenter, licensed electrician. That's what I want to see on my place. Qualified people.
Amazing too. It's all tidy and tight.
This is a total transformation. That's what it is.
Really very, very lovely. It's fantastic. I just can't believe it. It's very classy. It's not too much at all. I just love the trim on the windows. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Communication's number one here. There was no proper communication. It did not happen the way the contractor said it would happen. Make sure your contractor complies with what you ask for. If he doesn't, stop the job. It's phenomenal.
It's a lot of work you guys did. Oh my God, you fixed the fence.
Yes.
Oh my God. I mean, I was kind of embarrassed to show people, you know, the work before. It just didn't work. So I'm not at all embarrassed now. Very, very proud.
Not everybody can do everything. You've heard the saying, jack of all trades, master of none.
Thank you. I get I forget that. I get to hug you. So I like my job.
Yeah, okay.
We'll have a party. Wow.
You coming?
I'll be there.
Okay. Are you coming? Okay, wait a minute. We have to reschedule, Mike.
We are as good as the people around us. This is a big lesson learned here. Make sure they bring in the right people.